2023.
Got Duke football in the house right there. Welcome, class of 2023. Class of 2023, we celebrate you guys.
Class of 2023, best ever. Mark my words.
The 2019 season is underway, with Duke opening up on the road against Alabama in Atlanta and the home opener straight ahead versus North Carolina A&T. We come to you today from the Blue Devil Tower. I'm Rebecca Fiorentino alongside head coach David Cutcliffe. And coach, a month of training camp to get you ready for this upcoming season. What were some of your main focal points to not only prepare you for Alabama, but the rest of your schedule?
Yeah, I think with as many young players as we have, and in certain cases maybe inexperienced players, it was all about early repetition. We ran as many plays, pushed them as hard as we could push them, and you hit a point that you know whether you're playing Alabama or anybody else for that matter on our schedule, you had to turn from quantity to quality. And I think having our players focused, having our players committed to effort and conditioning well enough to give that kind of effort, that's kind of been the theme to camp. Against good teams, it's never enough. Your first effort is not enough. It's second and third effort. So that's going to be part of our theme all the way through the season.
You mentioned your schedule, and some would say you have a pretty difficult schedule this year, going up against two playoff teams from a year ago, only having one home game in the month of September. What is it about this schedule, and what's your approach to tackling a schedule as challenging as this one?
Well, I think as you break it down, obviously these first three non-conference games, only one's at home. We're going to find out a lot about our team, and then you're taking it on the road for a Friday night game in Blacksburg. I think that the focus has to be with this schedule that, okay, let's get through those three games, and how good can we be in a month from then? And then at that point, we do come home for conference games. We're basically, with the exception of Miami, playing the Coastal Division.
Yeah.
So I think our team understands that, yeah, you're going to get better, particularly early. Camp was important as far as improvement. Playing tough teams early in Middle Tennessee and A&T are both very successful programs. So I hope by the time we hit the road at Virginia Tech and we take on the Coastal Division that we're much more of a veteran team and a little hardened by that time.
Well, of course, we'll break down the first game on your schedule against the Crimson Tide on the show today, and we'll talk about the leadership and the style of that leadership as you announce 6 captains for this upcoming year.
Coach David Cutcliffe's Duke Football Show is brought to you by Gatorade. Win from within. By the Governor's Highway Safety Program. Don't drink and drive. You're smarter than that. And by Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling.
Gatorade packs carbs to refuel and electrolytes to replenish, so you can bring the heat. Nothing beats Gatorade.
Continental tires are built for the road that connects you to all of life's journeys. And for nearly 150 years, we've been developing tires to fit your needs. Each Continental tire is designed to give you precise handling and traction in all seasons, and a quiet, comfortable ride wherever the road takes you. You're at your best when you're doing what you really love. We're at ours when we're helping you get there. Continental Tire, for what you do.
Even a bad day fishing's better than a good day working.
Yeah.
Gatorade packs carbs to refuel and electrolytes to replenish, so you can bring the heat. Nothing beats Gatorade.
It means a lot to earn the respect of your teammates is obviously a great feeling, and I'm very humbled by it, and glad that they elected me as one of the captains. So really excited to lead this team. I think we have a lot of talent, a lot of young guys stepping into positions for the first time now. So I'm excited to kind of help them come along and really help this team realize their full potential.
Honestly, it meant the world to me, knowing that all my teammates see me as that type of leader. And I just try to continue to do what I do, just come out here and leave everything out in the field. I like to lead by example. I'm not really a talkative person. But, when I talk, everybody listens. So, I just literally try to let my work do all the talking for me so that everybody has a good example to see when they would need to see how work needs to be done.
Leadership is important for any team, and often that begins with the captains. This year, you announced 6 captains. What is it about that group that led them to being announced captains?
I will tell you this first. We do a vote of our team, and it's legitimate. But as I watched those 6 young men this summer, and they put their leadership skills in gear back in April, but certainly in June and July, I would come in, and often those guys were some, if not the first people here to work every day, doing extra work. And as they voted, it really didn't surprise me that Quentin and Trey kind of, were out there. But then this group of 4, so you knew Quentin Harris, you knew Trey Hornbuckle Smith. This group of 4 had separated themselves. And I found that interesting because there's Kobe Kwanzaa, there's Zach Baker, there's Dylan Singleton, and then there's Edgar Serenoid, who, our players have a lot of confidence in those guys. We do as a staff. I don't think they could have done a better job of picking workers, not necessarily talkers. This 6 is a group of workers, and they all were a part of having one of the better camps that we've had.
You represent both sides of the ball, 2 on the defensive line. What different styles of leadership, not only on the field but off the field, do they bring?
Well, I love the fact that 3 of these guys are really physical football players. They're in the trenches. So nobody's going to argue much with those guys. They know the work that they put in and what their expectations are. And then some really dynamic athletes that are the big-time playmakers. And, I can tell you, when you look at Dylan Singleton's body of work and you look at Quentin Harris, you look at these guys that are playing at the level, all 6 of them playing at the level they're playing at, you know what? They've earned respect. Nobody has appointed them a captain. They've earned everything and every accolade that they've received, and they have absolutely lived what a captain should be to this point.
And then, of course, the coaching staff is an integral part to the leadership. You have veteran coaches on your team, and 2 of them, including, have been on your staff for all 12 years that you've been here at Duke, and offensive coordinator Zach Roper and the defensive backs coach Derek Jones. How important is that stability and consistency of leadership on your team?
I think that's the staple of Duke football. We don't have a lot of people come and go. We've had guys come and become head coaches. We've had a few guys that gone on to the NFL. If you look at what happens from a collegiate standpoint, these guys love where they are, the quality of the young people they get to work with, the quality of the man, not just the coach, is important to our program. And I can tell you that is beyond reproach. This is a group of people that anyone can trust, but I certainly trust them. There's love amongst us, And I think people do their best work when through love and through caring, and I think that defines this staff.
Well, I'm representing the defensive backs today and the Cheetahs, the coalition, and still ahead on the show, we'll look at the relationship between their leader, Derek Jones.
The Game Breakers, presented by Vivid Seats, official partner of the Duke Blue Devils. See more and sit closer with vividseats.com/Duke.
So on 2nd and 7, Hicks comes in motion. The handoff is for Totten. Trey Buckles says, I'll take you down. I'll take the quarterback down. I'll take everybody down.
Duke football is back. This fall, the 2018 Independence Bowl champions return to Brooks Field at Wallace Wade Stadium for 6 home games. Season tickets for exciting matchups, including Notre Dame, Syracuse, and Miami, start at just $88. Enjoy free parking and free expanded in-stadium Wi-Fi as part of the full Duke football experience. Get your tickets at goduke.com/footballticks or call 919-681-BLUE to reserve your seat today. Duke football, Bull City proud.
Major auto accident. Let's do what we do.
Serious injuries. Clearly our driver's fault.
So what's the plan? Delay? Deny?
What?
They called the law offices of James Scott Farron.
I think you should handle this one.
If you've been injured in an accident, tell them you mean business. Call on the Hurt Line, the law offices of James Scott Farron, right now.
No, you handle it. No, I insist. You handle it.
Down the left sideline for Dubois. That's batted away by Michael Carter II. Perkins again on the move and almost picked by Leonard Johnson. And this Duke defense stands up after the turnover and forces a 3-and-out.
You know, we have what's called a coalition creed. You know, my defensive backs are called the coalition, and that's a pack of cheetahs. And our coalition creed is, I will be better today than I was yesterday, and I will be better tomorrow than I was today. And that's something that, you know, as soon as these young men come in here, I try to teach them. And that's something that, you know, we can look when we get into our meetings every day, regardless of how things went. And you can look at that, and it makes you feel good. You know, you may not be able to always accomplish that, but at least you can go revisit that, and it motivates you to be able to strive for that again, you know, on the following day. And again, you know, I try to instill principles in my guys that are going to be with them long after I'm not coaching them anymore. And I think no matter what you're doing in life, that's something that you can look in the mirror every morning, you know, when you wake up and say to yourself, and it makes you a better person on account of that.
The coalition, you know, it means a lot to all of us out there. It's our brand, especially in the back end. And, you know, we take a lot of pride in that, just being, holding each other accountable, you know, picking our guys up when, you know, they might get beat on one play, but we always telling them, you know, there's another play. You know, that's very important as a defense. Like, we want to be the tempo setters.
The mindset of a cheetah, for me, is you always have to finish. No matter what happens at the line, you might get beat off the line, but as long as you cheetah, you run to that receiver, you finish, get the ball out, whatever. That's what cheetah means to me.
The cheetah mentality, that's their brand, man. I like to mess with them about it, but the only reason I mess with them about it is because I know they stand strong to it. They're not gonna fold from it. And that's the thing that you love about it. Again, it's their brand. And obviously it's their coaching points and different things that they talk about, but they want to be able to run all day long and cover guys all day long and do whatever it is that they have to do in order to survive on the edge and on the island. That's what a doggone cheetah does. Every day he gets up, he has to start running and eat in order to survive.
I was always fascinated by cats. And then once I got here to Duke, Coach Cut was very big on us coming up with one-word coaching phrases. And I had always used the term cheetah because cheetah means a lot of different things. If you think about a cheetah, when you watch them chase a gazelle, antelope, or whatever they're hunting, they watch the hips of their prey. And when you're playing defensive backs, it's imperative that you keep your eyes on the hips of the guys that you're covering. And it kind of correlated together. And it just seemed fitting considering that everybody in the secondary has to be on the same page. Cheetahs, when they do hunt, they're very precise in the angles that they take and the methods that they take. And when you look at secondary play, we've all got to be on the same page. As a corner, you've got to know where the safety is going to be. You've got to know where the underneath the safeties are going to be, depending upon what's called. So it all just kind of seemed right. But more than anything, I wanted to be able to develop something that we would be able to use far beyond football.
I've learned so much from Coach Jones. I actually played for Coach Jones here from 2008 to 2011. And I think the thing about Coach Jones that sticks out most to me is how he cared about me as a person. It was never as a DB. He'd always ask me questions that had nothing to do with football. We would often start our meetings for the first half and may not even talk about a thing about football. But that's why those DBs would run through a wall for him, because they know he loves them. He does a great job of building those relationships. And then as a recruiter, who wouldn't want their son to come play for a guy like Coach Jones, who's going to show them how to be successful both on and off the field?
Oh, man, that just gave me chills talking about DJ, man. What in the world is going on? He's a good dude. Wow. DJ is phenomenal, man. I love that dude. You cannot find a better man in the country. Take the coach out of it, take everything else out of it. You cannot find a better man, husband, father, somebody that loves his wife, loves his kids, loves his family, and would literally give you the shirt off his back. I don't know where these emotions are coming from.
I've watched him grow as a man, as a husband, a father. He's someone that I deeply respect as a person. We all know his creativity and his talents. We see that every day on Twitter, right? And I love that. DJ's got enthusiasm for life and a creative spirit about him. But the players that play for him are going to meet his demands and his expectations. He never changes. He doesn't change in a meeting. He takes that intensity to a meeting. He goes from the meeting to the field. And in that classroom, you better realize you're going to do every little thing right. I mean, it's just been a journey that will be a big part of my life. When my time's done on earth is this journey with Derek Jones. We've been together a long, long time.
Duke Football 360 with Dave Harding.
It's never easy to replace a starting quarterback, much less a top 10 pick in Daniel Jones going 6th overall to the New York Giants. However, it's a little bit easier when you have a player like Quentin Harris, a redshirt senior, been in the program for 5 years, 6'1", 200-pounder with game experience under his belt. We're going to take a look at a few plays here to give a better sense of what Quentin Harris brings to the Duke football program as the starting quarterback. Here against Baylor, his first career start in college, on the road, adverse conditions. Time in the pocket, but watch his deep ball accuracy. That's probably the best thing that Quentin Harris brings to the football game as a quarterback, is his ability to get the ball deep down the field and find his targets with spot-on precision. Take a look here at another view. This is placed only where Jonathan Lloyd, his wide receiver, is able to catch it. Even though he's got a safety coming over the side here, placed right in that breadbasket, Lloyd able to run 66 yards for a touchdown. But it takes execution across the board for success, especially on the road in college football. Take a look at this pocket that he's got. So all 11 have to be executing, including that 5 offensive linemen up front to provide protection. But when he's got it, Quentin Harris shows his ability to thread the needle deep and make big plays. He's also good in the run game. Daniel Jones known for his athleticism, more straight line speed. Quentin Harris a little shiftier in the pocket here on a quarterback power read, Take a look. He calls his own number, gets behind his offensive guard, and has the physicality to get upfield and pick up tough yardage. But here, we're going to see his ability to sidestep tackles. Takes the snap, got a defender coming off the edge, quickly eludes him, and gets upfield for a first down. And finally, here on a designed quarterback draw, you're going to see the safety fill into the B-gap trying to tackle him. This shows a little bit of the shiftiness, the elusive ability for Quentin Harris out of the pocket, running upfield, sidesteps the arm tackle, and is able to pick up the extra yardage. Quentin Harris has shown that he's willing to prepare, put in the work needed to be a successful quarterback here, getting a victory on the road over Baylor when the Blue Devils needed him most. But he's also got the physical tools needed to be a highly accurate passer and a dangerous player on the ground.
When we're born, we're more alike than we are different. Then somewhere along the way, we start to believe the more distant we are from each other, the more different we are. It's only when we venture into the world that we see all we share. Maybe that's the power of flight. Delta isn't flying just to bring us together, but to show we were never that far apart.
Continental tires are built for the road that connects you to all of life's journeys. And for nearly 150 years, we've been developing tires to fit your needs. Each Continental tire is designed to give you precise handling and traction in all seasons, and a quiet, comfortable ride wherever the road takes you. You're at your best when you're doing what you really love. We're at ours when we're helping you get there. Continental Tire, for what you do.
Duke football is back. This fall, the 2018 Independence Bowl champions return to Brooks Field at Wallace Wade Stadium for 6 home games. Season tickets for exciting matchups, including Notre Dame, Syracuse, and Miami, start at just $88. Enjoy free parking and free expanded in-stadium Wi-Fi as part of the full Duke football experience. Get your tickets at goduke.com/footballticks or call 919-681-BLUE to reserve your seat today. Duke football, Bull City proud.
Tell you, our host, Gary Stokan, the president of the Peach Bowl, and everything about the event was incredible. The walk-in with the Duke fans and families, and cannot thank everyone enough, all the Duke people for getting there. And we came out and covered a kick well, and defensive group was relentless. You can see there Kobe with second effort, and we missed some sacks in the first half. You're always going to what if. We missed an opportunity here. We get a nice turnover, recover the fumble, and we don't convert on a fourth down here that you're going to see. We move the ball down into the deep red zone. And, you know, here, I know people wondering why we don't try to kick a field goal, but the circumstance is that we felt like to win the game, we needed to score touchdowns, and obviously we didn't accomplish that. We weren't as consistent as certainly we would like to be against an Alabama defense that's relentless, and they found a way to take the ball down the field, scored. We really were pretty disciplined in the first half. This was one of the disappointing things, were the explosive plays that we had a chance there to stop it at the line of scrimmage, and they've got a big, powerful front on both sides of the ball. I think this is one of the best offenses I've seen in college football, top to bottom. Nice play by Trayvon McSwain, and he had a good game in the middle. We get a 2-minute operation going, and Scott Bracey makes a tremendous catch. Really a fine throw by Quentin, put it in a spot that he could only the one going to catch it was Scott. And a nice kick by A.J. And so it's 14-3. We come out. we've been kind of holding some things, but you know, we wanted to see ourselves spread the wealth a little bit, so to speak, and unfortunately the drive gets stopped, and when you have a penalty on offense, a penalty on defense, and then a turnover, what you see occur is a quick 14-point swing. They back it up. This is a heck of a throw right here. But the score goes from 14-3, a real competitive game, to 28-3. I think one of the things you'll see that our team fought and continued to fight. We got to tackle better on defense, and we got to sustain blocks longer on offense. We've got some weapons all over this football team. We have a group of people that can catch it. We certainly got some folks that can run it, but all in all, the day went to Alabama and Nick Saban, and they've got an outstanding football team. They'll have a great season. The atmosphere in Atlanta is one that's going to be really good long-term for our team. The challenge was huge. We carried all of our scholarship freshmen, whether they were going to play or not. I wanted people to experience this, understand what you have to do to get into big games, and that atmosphere, that environment was unbelievable. Walking from the bus to the stadium, we went through a section with the band, the cheerleaders, and the Duke crowd was phenomenal, so I can't say enough about that. But it seems like going through spring ball and into camp, we were pretty much consumed with this football game. Alabama can kind of do that. We have a good football team. People that watch the game closely know we had our opportunities. We had our opportunities to close the score, 14-3 at half, fought hard. We get the ball first in the second half, start moving it. Obviously, our offense has got to continue to sustain drives and score points. We have the people to do that. Defensively, we got a good football team. We played, I promise you, the most talented offense that I've seen in quite some time. So consistency, tackling, avoiding explosive plays, which is difficult against a team like Alabama. Our kicking game was solid. And as we move forward, now we have the season. We refocus ourselves on week after week of being the best Duke football team we can be and absolutely finding a way to win football games. We look forward to being at home. See you in Wallace Wade Stadium on Brooks Field. It's going to be a fantastic home opener. Big challenge.